Okay, so I trained on the piano as a classical pianist, but in my youth, I used to quite like dubstep and Skrillex and the rest of it, as with everyone that's probably my age. So it came as a little bit of a shock when I was scrolling through the old YouTube and came across a nice mixture of Moonlight Sonata on the piano as a dubstep remix. So in this video I'm going to react to it. It does have a time signature of 2-2, which means it's got to have a little bit of pace so that you can feel 2 in a bar. Like this. 1, 2. But I think if you slow it down just a touch, it can sound a lot more sinister and more meaningful. It's just gone off what's supposed to happen, and you can hear it's going to turn into something. Some people have a problem with like classical music being played with, but I think most music is kind of there for interpretation or to do what you want with. So I think it can be quite interesting if it's done well. The chord sequence that he's choosing to go out with, it's starting to sound kind of like like game music or a film music. Kind of like that. Okay, so that's now the third movement of the Moonlight Sonata, which people know the sound of, but I don't think they know it's part of the same kind of piece. Well, some people don't, at least. It's got a little bit of a harsh sound to it, but it's very kind of rhythmic with his notes. Kind of like that. It actually kind of reminded me that it's supposed to be really quiet and then get loud towards the end. It's really throwing in like all of the classical music signatures for piano. I feel like I need to prepare myself for this because it looks like something's about to happen. Were you waiting for that drop? Oh, you were waiting for that drop. Oh, I'm sorry. Shall I play it? It's giving me so 2000s. Third movement again. This is where it is really good if you are really rhythmic with your playing, because if you've got to play it to a drum beat, it's really hard to do that. Yabba dabba 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 dabba. You know it's good when you're like head bobbing like that. Which when you add all of the rest of the backing track to it sounds really cool. It makes you wonder, did the audience know that this was going to happen, or were they expecting to come to like a classical concert and then just get like beated at? I don't know why I did that. You can't beat a good arpeggio, it sounds so impressive, but arpeggios are just chords where you break it into its individual notes, so instead of playing this, you get this, and then you can do it up and down the piano. Something like that. It's really cool, and I would actually argue it's probably slightly easier to play this than it is to play the full pieces properly, because all you're really doing is taking chords and then playing around with them across the piano, rather than having to remember all the music and convey a certain emotion at particular moments in a piece. So I would say it's not as hard as you might think, and very doable, kids. If you want to see what it's like when you can't play an instrument, then there's nothing worse than actors that do it really terribly in movies. And in this video, I react to those. So if you're interested in that, head on through and I will see you there.